And then
Were you just dying? Were
I
you
was
just
dying.
looking, going?
I had the ick.
But did you say to him, what are you doing?
No, because
And then the camera comes in from the top and looks at this soup, and all my kids are like, oh my God, Mum,
Oh, no.
you can do that in your sleep. It's so embarrassing.
he was very taken by me.
Oh, of course he was. Oh my God.
I was at home with Krissy, Victoria and Nicole.
Wait, Sydney Summer?
Sydney Summer. Hi, I'm Nicole O'Neil.
Hi, I'm Krissy Marsh.
And I'm Victoria Montano, and welcome to another episode of At Home with Krissy, Victoria and Nicole.
Today's episode is afternoon tea.
And we're teetotaling. Well, maybe summer.
Do you think the art of afternoon tea is a little bit lost in Australian culture?
Oh, yes, darling, I do. I think it's rather more English to be...
I think we used to do it a lot, you know, our grandparents.
And you know where they
It's
do
about
it?
taking a moment to enjoy a break, sit down, have a cup of tea, have something sweet. I think a lot of cultures have something like it, and I think they've disappeared from most cultures because people are just too much in a rush.
And I think also there is sort of a fashion in Australia nowadays to eat quite early. It's quite hard to fit an afternoon tea and a dinner at
Unless
7.
you're at the races. That is my favourite afternoon tea in the world. I wait for the scones, the pies, I love it.
I love a scone.
Scones, divine.
Scones are divine. And scones are so easy. Today we're going to show you how to make 3 really simple afternoon tea treats that could be used for a morning tea, could be used separately.
Kids afternoon tea.
Kids
I used
afternoon
to wrap it
tea,
in a tea
yes.
towel.
Send it to school with your children for morning tea.
I have to say Nicole has picked today's menu for this afternoon tea, and I'm going to say that she has come good with all the icons of the afternoon tea. So if you
classics.
If you are going to follow any of our recipes on the YouTube channel, these 3 are probably the most
The good old-fashioned curried
Don't
egg.
you think?
Yes.
Chicken sandwiches and scones.
Perfect. Who's going to rock and roll?
Okay, let's start. Let me just
You
wash my
first?
hands.
I've already washed my hands, so I'm going to crack on with cracking these eggs. What are you up to, Victoria?
Okay, well, I'm going to start this chicken sandwich mix.
Now, chicken sandwiches, everybody has their recipe. Everyone has a version that's been handed down through generations.
This is breast that has been shredded. You wait till the chicken breast is cooled. You get 2 knives. And
This is this is just a barbecue chicken. So if you've got some
That
barbecue
saves
chicken
time.
left over, I love a barbecue chicken because I think it gives it really good flavour.
I agree. Now, girls, the big question here. Do you think it's easier to peel a cooled egg or a hot egg?
I like to... Is there
Cooled
a rule? Because
No.
I like cooled.
I like
But what I
cooled.
like to do is just like a little dash of water and then I just peel it off.
Yes, yeah. You can run it under a tap.
Okay, so Victoria, do you want to put in all the elements?
So I've got this chicken breast that's been shredded. I've got some really finely diced celery. And when you're making chicken sandwiches, it's basically the same as when you're making any other dish. You're always thinking about how to balance things out. So the celery is going to add a little bit of crunch and a bit of freshness. We've got walnuts and what's the other nut?
Hazelnuts.
We've got walnuts and hazelnuts
And
for
that's
more
optional.
crunch. Look, nuts are optional, obviously, if someone's allergic to them. Nuts are not optional if you want your chicken sandwich to taste good. Okay? And also, if you've got someone that's allergic to nuts, don't invite them to afternoon tea.
You're such a bitch, Victoria.
Parsley, very finely chopped.
Yum.
Just to give it a bit of colour too.
Bit of colour. When you're doing chicken sandwich, unlike doing a casserole, how finely you chop things is actually quite important.
Some people like rougher chopped parsley.
Now, this is mayonnaise. I'm going to put all the mayonnaise in.
I like a Kewpie mayonnaise, the Japanese mayonnaise. I feel like it's got a better flavour to it.
It's got more sugar. That's
Loads and loads of sugar. That's why you like it, Nicole,
why
because
you
you're
like it.
such a sweet tooth. I prefer...
But also I think that it blends well, especially with a chicken sandwich.
Now I've got a cup of sour cream in. I'm not going to put all the sour cream.
No.
I'm just going to go half. You can always add more if you want to, but you can always add, but you can't take away. Don't forget that.
Very true.
And a splash of Worcestershire salt and pepper.
It's my recipe.
Delicious.
Let me do my magic.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Worcestershire, salt and pepper.
So I'm moving over to the scones.
Okay.
So
and that's actually my specialty, but Nicole's making it today, so I want to see what hers tastes
So
like.
I've got 3 cups here of flour that I'm putting in.
Self-raising.
Self-raising flour. I've got 60 grams of butter.
And the butter cannot be melted.
No.
It's actually got to be a little bit
Chilled.
firm to touch.
Yes, because you want a breadcrumb texture.
And that is so important with the scone. If you try and melt that butter, your scones are screwed and they're very tough.
I'm putting in a pinch of salt,
Yes, love it.
and I'm also putting in a tablespoon of caster sugar.
Oh, nice.
Now, there's a big debate whether you like currants or fruit in your
Oh,
scones.
no, Nicole. Now you've lost me, Nicole. I'm leaving.
I will leave that out until I do.
Until Krissy goes.
No, I'll make half the recipe.
Now,
So
the thing with the scones in the rub, you've got to show people what you're doing with your fingers, Nicole. It's that rub. See how she's rubbing the
I'm
butter
massaging
in?
it so I get a breadcrumb texture.
I've got to say, I've never made scones, so I actually need
Well,
to
it's the
to watch
only
this.
thing I virtually can bake. I'm the
Oh, I
worst
love a
baker in the
scone.
world.
I
So
love a
it's virtually
scone.
the only thing I can bake.
So the oven's been preheated to 200 degrees Celsius. See, I'm getting a breadcrumb texture with
And
the butter.
you really have to be patient with this little step. You really have to get the butter well and truly through. You can't have it too lumpy at that
No.
stage. So it is a bit of a patience game. And the big thing is too, get a knife when you're ready to add the milk. Do not do it with a spoon.
I do it well.
Oh, well, I do it with a knife.
Oh, I'll show you how I
okay.
do it. So,
It's good. See, we're learning from each other here.
so,
I'm learning to chop my curried eggs rather than to squash them.
so now I have a fine breadcrumb type
Perfect.
texture.
Look at that. It's almost like ricey.
Crumbs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crumbs. Yeah.
So what I do is I put a big hole in the middle of my flour.
Yeah. Okay.
As you can see here.
So like you're making pasta?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have milk. So I have 310 mils of milk, but I'm not adding it all. I'm only going to add
You've
some
got
of
to
it.
save some for the end when you brush the top of the scone, don't
Yes,
you,
but
Nicole?
also nobody likes a wet scone. So I incorporate that into the flour.
Because you can't knead it that well, it sticks to your fingers.
Yeah, so you can always add it more later.
See, I do this stage now with a knife.
Oh, do you? Your hands are dirty, you might as well just continue.
Keep going.
So I'm slowly massaging it all in till you start to form a dough.
Okay, whilst Nicole's doing that, I'm going to take
Yes.
you to the eggs, okay? So we're doing a curried egg sandwich, and this is my first, I'm a virgin. This is my first curried egg sandwich I've ever done. Well, like this method. So is that something that you'd say?
Yes,
Is that
perfect.
all right?
I mean, there's a
so
big
Nicole
debate.
wanted them to be chopped.
You can chop them finer or mash them a little
So
bit.
normally what I do is I do mash mine and put the curried
That's really good.
egg in that way, but
That's
Nicole
perfect.
wanted them chopped, and it's probably going to look a lot more fancy pants, but I still think my chopping isn't quite right, so I am going to, just break them up a little bit because you want some a little bit smaller. So don't worry too much about that. Now we have, this is cumin? Oh, curry.
Curry.
Gee, I tell you what, this is a first time run. Okay, so we've got curry, the whole lot.
Curry
Nicole?
powder, yep.
Curry powder.
Dry mustard.
Dry mustard. Okay, both of those go in. Then at this stage we have mayonnaise, and this is not Kewpie mayonnaise, it's
Yes, it
egg
is.
mayonnaise. Oh, is it? It looks a little bit yellower to me. And that's also how much you put in. You've got to see this consistency now, and as you're mixing it through, the egg's going to break up a little bit more anyway. And what do we have over here, Nicole?
We have a bit of orange juice.
Bit of orange juice. Now talk me through that.
Secret ingredient.
Really?
Yep. There's a bit
Okay.
of acidity, but yet a bit of sweetness.
Okay, that's great. So very tiny amount there. That'd be about 1 tablespoon.
Yep.
Hope it's not going to make my eggs soggy, but it's looking like a really nice consistency. No salt or pepper at this stage, or would you put a little bit of? I'd put a
It's
little.
to taste.
Okay. Well, I'd normally put a little bit of pepper in at this
Yeah,
stage.
I love pepper.
And this can be served with I really didn't use a lot of mayonnaise, and look at that really nice consistency. So that must be the orange juice, Nicole.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to try that now and tell you what I think of it.
Nice.
Really nice.
Can you taste the orange juice?
No. And I don't think it needs salt nor pepper. How bizarre is that?
That's the curry powder.
What's salty in there? What's salty in
You're
there?
so proud of yourself.
Because it's a
I don't
great
know.
recipe.
It is a great recipe, but sorry.
Have you buttered the bread, please, Victoria?
Okay. So with the curried egg, you can decide to butter the bread. Nicole wants them on these fancy little brioche buns. You can do them on straight white bread. I'm not going to butter them because I think there's enough mayonnaise, enough going on without them. But these little brioche buns are super cute.
Can you just bring that platter?
Cut them in half. I cut a couple. I pre-cut a couple, so I wasn't going to waste your time cutting them. Oh wow, I cut a lot. But obviously, you just get a serrated knife and cut them. And then I'm just going to load the eggs straight on. And then if you like...
I like it. These ones you need to cut completely because it looks nicer when it's just sitting on the top.
Okay. Look at Mrs. O'Neil. She's on to telling me what to do, which I like. You could put a little bit of lettuce underneath if you wanted a little bit of butter lettuce.
I actually tried to find some...
Okay, I'll lick it. Sorry, can I just wipe that on you for a second?
I actually tried to find some mustard cress.
Oh, don't go getting too fancy on me.
No, but I like a bit of green.
Now, yeah, I'd like a little bit of green on this now too, Nicole. My curried egg's going to look rather flat, but it's going to taste amazing.
How are we going over there, Victoria?
Oh my goodness, Victoria, you're doing all these steps and not telling anyone. What are you doing over there?
I'm going to take you through it.
You're being a secret squirrel.
I wanted to see.
You wanted to see if it worked.
Okay.
Let's try.
Come to me.
Come to me.
Come to me.
Come to me.
Now, we need, the chicken mix is done. I'm going to move Nicole's festy bowl.
Can I try the chicken meat?
Yes, you can.
I love that. I can eat
so do
that.
I can eat this all day.
Me too, with a salad.
Oh my God.
Just with a bit of lettuce.
Oh my God, the walnuts just make it.
Isn't it delicious?
So now, butter on the bread, butter on the white bread. I don't really like it on wholemeal bread, but it does work also on a dark rye.
Okay. Or a little bit of French stick, a little bit of baguette.
Look, I don't like crunchy because I feel like the mix isn't quite right, but it's each to their own, you know? I'm going to butter both sides because, you know, it's a decadent afternoon tea.
Put a little bit more flour.
And then I am going to place a generous layer of the chicken mix. I sort of put it in the middle of the bread because I'm going to cut it into a circle. Do have clean hands because you do need your hands for this.
Yum. Now there's another way, because you're using a circle with this. I actually make these the night before, stick them in the fridge, wrap them really tightly and compress them in cling wrap.
Yes.
And then I use the old-fashioned electric knife to cut my edges to make ribbon sandwiches. So you can make ribbon sandwiches, or you can make them like Victoria's making them now.
So I just did a test sandwich earlier. So now I'm going to move this for a second. So I put my chicken mix in a rough circle in the middle, and I'm just going to get this circular cutter.
So where did you buy that circular cutter, Nicole?
That came from Kmart.
Great, I like that.
Yes. And it came in a great, it was 12 pieces, 12. So I got the smaller circles.
And then just pull the bread apart. So keep it in there just to keep the shape. Obviously, there is some yummy things here that you can eat while you're cooking and save the fancy ones.
Or if people come and they need a pick, like husbands or children.
And then they're going to look like this. I mean, it doesn't get much fancier than that.
Oh, yum.
Does it?
Okay, back to me. I'm loading up these with a spoon right now, probably the easiest way to do it. And you can then perfectly portion them in between. Right now, if you wanted to put a little tiny bit of lettuce on the bottom, that would just give a little bit of green. But maybe when we serve it, that's what we'll be doing.
Should I put everything on there?
Yeah,
I've got to like the idea of these little curried egg.
How cute are the brioches?
I love the little brioche because I normally do them on white fresh bread. But there's great little gluten-free options of all these in the supermarket that you can buy. And you could do a curried egg wrap, you could do, so you don't have to be stuck and say, oh, I can't find these little brioche buns. You can literally do them just with the white. Oh, I loaded that one over. This curried egg mixture is a bit like Nicole's ham. I doubted her last Christmas when she made the ham, and then it was better than mine, and I copied it. So now I think I'm going to be copying this curried egg recipe. And I do like the fact that it looks a little bit more gourmet, not having it as...
So, I have the dough here. I roll it out. I like high scones, so I roll out the dough. So this dough can be made a day ahead. I roll it out to a thickness of, like your finger. Usually the thickness of your finger, I like to think.
Important not to overwork the dough.
No.
If you overwork the dough and roll and roll and roll, you'll get very tough
Now
rough
I don't
scones.
like big scones, so
I'm with you.
So
I like them that size too, even
you can
smaller.
use a shot glass.
Shot glasses are good, that's what I normally use. And then when you're refolding that old dough, you don't want to keep reworking it.
You just fold it
So
and
just
roll it.
fold it. I can bash it. I like just bashing it, so you're not even rolling it. So once you're getting to the end like this, you're just using your palm
Well,
and
I'm
your
going to
weight.
now add a few little currants.
Oh, Nicole. Is that how you're adding your currants?
That's how I add in my currants.
Wow.
So then you can have some.
I'm just eating these spare chicken sandwiches. They're divine.
And the chicken mince. Shall I finish these off and make them all?
Okay.
Okay, I'll keep
I will
going.
just do these.
It's so easy just adding them like that. So some people can have with currants and some people can have...
Yeah.
And the big thing with scones, you've really got to have that oven preheating right now.
Yeah.
What is it heated to?
200.
Oh, yours is 200, okay.
You know your oven.
Yeah,
so
you know your oven. Yeah. But hot. It's got to be in a really hot oven. And the big thing with scones, no oil, no nothing. Nicole's putting hers on baking paper. I put mine close together like this, so they're all joining. So you actually get to break them apart. But Nicole's spaced them apart, so they'll probably end up being a lot more perfect looking scone than what I do, squishing them all
I feel
together.
like you try to make your things imperfect.
Well, I like
Why
the fact
do you go to so much effort to make things look like shit?
No, but when the kids come home, it's really nice to have like that mound of scones and they break them off, and it's quite interactive. I do like that.
she loves interacting.
I do. I love the interaction of food. For me, it's not about being perfect. It's about the interaction, what people can do. This is an amazing recipe to do with kids. Kids would love to make this. All of this can be made by kids, believe it or not, because there's no heat. Kids can get in and roll the dough. It's interactive.
I
You
love
can put this
nuts.
curried egg mix on your husband. That could be very interactive as well.
I know where else I can put it.
Okay, that's an in-house joke. We won't be sharing that with anyone, Victoria.
Okay.
Please stay tuned next week for when we do the R18 plus version of this cooking show,
Yeah.
and then I'll tell you where I'm going to put the egg curry.
Holy moly.
I'm taking up too much room of this platter. We need a couple more of those to make it, you know.
Yeah, I have a stand.
It's seriously good curried egg.
I'm so glad that you're so impressed.
I am, and it's so basic and easy. And literally took 30 seconds. Because I'd never normally use that mayonnaise.
Kewpie, no.
Good mayonnaise. Okay, so you can keep going and going till you have no dough left. But I think we've got enough here. So I'm taking my scones and I'm just giving them a light brush
With the milk.
with the milk.
And that makes them go nice and golden brown when they're in the oven.
Delicious.
And it's such a quick thing to do.
Oh.
Like you can even have this pre-prepared, ready, whack it in the oven before the kids, or when the kids come home from school, and bang, you've got fresh, yummy scones.
What a
They've got
nice thing to
coming
people come over and the house smell.
Oh, and the jam, and everyone's fighting over the jam and the cream, and everyone's putting it on together, so you don't have to preload them and pre-do them all. I love it.
Yeah. You can put these in the oven, go pick up your kids from school and come home and have freshly baked scones.
You wouldn't want to be caught in the school traffic, Nicole.
You wouldn't, but if you live close by.
We'll have burnt scones.
So
here we go.
Into a 200-degree oven. Now, the smaller the scone, the less time it takes to bake. So I would suggest start with 10 minutes and then check them. Once you've mastered how long it takes.
And it's very much a touch and tell. You still want it to spring back a little bit. Oh, Nicole, I'm super excited.
Warm.
Oh,
the oven.
Yum. And jam and cream.
I know, it's my favourite.
And champagne, my favourite.
And champagne.
So this could be a brunch as well.
Could be a brunch, it could be a morning tea. It could be, everything could be broken up and, you know, sometimes you're invited to someone's house and they ask you what can you bring? Ooh.
My goodness, that cleared away the bad spirits.
What can you bring? And so
I don't want to show the label.
fresh, warm scones always works.
Thank you.
And you know what? It's nice to invite your girlfriends over before an afternoon pickup of school and say, come over, we've all had a hectic week. Let's share one,
How important
let's share a
are
cup of
girlfriends
tea.
to you?
A cup of tea and some sandwiches. And
How important are girlfriends to you?
girlfriends to me are very important.
Me too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The girlfriends.
Two of my favourite girlfriends.
Oh, I
Yes.
love that. Me, you'd marry, and Nicole, you wouldn't.
I've never married a girl.
No, I think for me, girlfriends are super important. I think
Can I give you some sandwiches,
but you
Victoria?
can say so much around women that you can't say in mixed company. You can get away with so much more. Don't you
need
think?
one?
There's a lot.
The conversations,
Chrissy?
oh no, this is just going to kill me. I can't.
Oh, you've got the sultanas.
Oh, I know. Oh, Nicole, that's a good scone.
Oh.
And you know what? Little scones just, you pop the whole lot in your mouth, dollop with the jam and cream. Oh, yum. Yeah, look, sisters, because I've got sisters, I suppose you've got a sister. We've all got sisters. So,
And we all have daughters.
yeah, I think we're pretty lucky in that sense to have. I never like stacking my scones either. I like
No,
having
me
the
too.
cream on both sides. I like
course.
having that's the way. I like it. You stole the cream before I finished.
Sorry. I thought you gave it to me.
Look at that. That's a
I
gold.
feel-
For me, sorry,
No,
Victoria.
you'd say.
No, for me, it's really important to have strong female mentors in my life. And I want women around me who are different to me, who have different thoughts, have a similar value system, but have different backgrounds, different opinions.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be challenged by my friends in a nice way. And I want my daughters to see that. And I want my daughters to be exposed to different women who are achieving incredible things in their life, whether it be personally or professionally. And also women who my children can turn to
If they need help.
If
or
they
if
need
they
help.
Yeah, definitely.
I want
think-
women around me who are going to be, you know, mentors to my daughters, who are mentors to me.
I want women around me that just want to have a laugh. You know, that is so important. So much of the time, I think, you know, as you know, there's so much pressure in what's going on in our lives. Think of, you know, today, all of us gathering today, what we've done to get here, what we've done to, and that's what's happening with so many people. And you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So to come together and just come as you are, no judgment, have a chat and a bit of a laugh and a bit of fun. That's what my girlfriends mean to me.
I think I'm similar to Nicole in my basis of what I look for in female friendships and strong female mentors is a similar ethical system and value to myself. That's probably
Similar moral compass.
Similar moral, but that's probably the foundation of my friendships. But the most important thing that I realized, and this has taken me years and years to figure out, is I just really value women that love each other for who each other are. So, and I think having that foundation of the same moral compass, where you know you have that same framework is really comforting.
Yes.
It adds a really strong platform for the friendship, and then you can be who you are. You know,
and I think with motherhood, a lot of friendships do break up. A lot of people, because someone's, you know, bringing up their children different to how you might be bringing them up, and that's when I've seen a lot of friendships go pear-shaped.
Yeah.
So I
don't think that, honestly, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Like, I've never proclaimed to be the best mother in the world, but I do think that that's an important factor. Like, if you are bringing your children up in a totally different way to someone, it's hard to keep exposing your children and your family to things that aren't falling within your moral compass.
No, I agree.
The big thing for me is always every family's different. I always say that. And they'll be like, oh, but Mum, this one can do this, this and this. I'm like, yeah, every family's different. So I think that's a good way to sort of say, you know, I'm not necessarily going to agree with it or disagree, but every family, you know.
No, but I like the idea that, you know, we raise our children very differently. We all do, all three of us. And I like the idea that the older my girls get, you know, if they need advice on something that I might not necessarily be aware of or agree with, you know, they're adults now, but I want them to be around women who they can turn to and ask for opinions. And I know that you're not going to take them on a bum steer, that you're going to give them your honest opinion and idea and, you know, way that they should handle that situation or how to move forward.
And also the big thing, I think, is show them how to have fun. I mean, I never forget watching your
I'm not worried about you doing that.
No, but no, I remember watching your sister's hens party, and you really went in and you really had fun with everything. You're not taking life too seriously. And the problem is these days, a lot of young women, a lot of young men, have so much. They don't know what to do. They don't want to step out of line. They're so scared of being, politically correct.
Rules.
So many rules. So they don't know how to behave anymore. So sometimes it's great to get in and go, you know what, guys, life isn't that serious, you know?
If you could pick a female mentor, dead or alive, someone that you look up to.
Because I don't have anyone that's springing to mind.
Someone that you look up to.
Oh, look, I think it's definitely got to be my mum. I think my mum has 4 girls. She's been...
So it doesn't have to be a celeb?
No, but I think she's been through her ups and downs. She's really managed to keep all 4 girls absolutely equal, you know, and my dad's done that as well, and I think that's a really amazing thing to do. And I think the biggest fights in family is when, you know, someone gets treated, you know, not fairly, and, you know, the big thing with, you know, mum always says, you know, money comes, money goes, so you've got to always be equal, you know. So I think that that's been a really nice quality, and that's something I've absolutely trying to do with my kids, is be equal with both of them. Love. Oh, sorry, 3 of them. But I was thinking of Victoria in my head then, that she's got 2, but maybe there's another one on the way. No.
You heard it here first.
She's young enough.
Maybe.
And Martine's a potential as well.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd have another one?
I'd love to have another child, but I just don't have time.
No, too busy.
I'm too busy. The scones were amazing.
How easy are they to make?
Very.
So easy.
I'm going to have to try.
So
tell me, who's a role?
I mean, I don't want to copy Krissy, but obviously my mother. My
grandmother. Let's all say our mothers and grandmothers.
What was your grandmother? What was your grandmother's
My
background?
grandmother, but I've got 2 grandmothers. But the one, my other grandmother was fabulous, don't get me wrong, but I have one, her name's Thais. It's who Theodora's named after, Theodora Thais. She was born in Russia. Fled during the revolution.
Mum's mum?
My mum's mum. Changed their name, lived in Greece. It was, you know, World War I, World War II. Her father died of starvation.
Wow.
She was an identical twin.
Oh, and what happened to the twin?
Still alive. They were the 2 most beautiful women in their village. They have a statue of them in their village.
Gosh.
In Greece.
In Greece. And my grandmother married an English soldier to get out of, who's my grandfather, right?
And did they move to Australia?
To Hong Kong after the war, and then eventually to Australia. But
what a story.
Anyway, I could go on and on and on. There's so much more to the story, but she was truly bohemian. You know, I'd go to her house and she'd be making cabbage rolls with like a thin cigarette in her mouth, record playing Julio Iglesias, 24 hours a day.
Oh, I love it.
You know, but truly bohemian. Like, you know how we set things, like how I set things up now to look bohemian. Like her table, she'd pull the frangipanis from her tree and she'd scatter them down the table.
Wow.
Nothing matched, not because she didn't have enough money.
Yeah.
You know, so she'd have like, you know,
She was a true creative.
She was truly creative.
Wow.
And
it's probably where you get a lot of your creativity.
I just love her. Like, sometimes, I'm about to cry, I sometimes still think now, like, I could just have one more day.
Yeah.
You know. So
how
I think
long ago did she pass?
I was 21. So a long time. 21 years ago.
Now.
I know. So I think, you know, she's probably, other than my mother, my biggest mentor.
I'd have to say my grandmother too. My grandmother I used to ring her up and say, come and pick me up. I want to get out of here, because I was one of 4. And so my grandmother would come and pick me up, and I'd have a weekend of just pure indulgence with her, and she would.
Now I'm
get
really
up.
starting to cry, Nicole, because I remember her sitting when she had Alzheimer's, sitting on the couch with the dog and all amongst everyone.
Yep, she was always. So I used to ring my grandmother every night for about 20 years, from the age of about 10 till she passed. I'd ring her. Even while I was dating Adam, I'd excuse myself and go and give her a call. And it started at 10 o'clock, and then it became 9 o'clock, and then it became 8 o'clock. But I'd ring her every night to say our prayer in Swedish and, you know, to tell her about my day. And she truly had the time to listen, and she truly wanted the best for me. And she would be the one who would encourage me to do things.
Because your mum was an only child, wasn't she? Or is an only child.
My mum was an only child, but my grandmother was very strong, and she was one of those women who, you know, divorced when my mum was 3, and this was in the 50s, and so that was a big thing. And, you know, rather than listen to what people said, she you know,
did what she wanted.
She did what she wanted and what she felt was right. So she always led by example, and she was one of those women who I would, you know, and she would bake and cook, and she was very healthy, and she would do things like, I remember, you know, going over there and she'd peel potatoes and soak them in water overnight because of, you know, it made your body alkaline, and she'd drink that all of the next day. And she'd go to health retreats, and this was like back before health retreats
were even existed.
Yeah, she was
probably hiking up a mountain and
all of that, and you know, fasting, and this was before any of it. You know, she was Swedish, and she was very liberal and
very ahead of her time.
All very liberal.
Very, very liberal. So for me, she was definitely a very strong influence in my life, and she was one of those people who would encourage me. Because sometimes my mum, you know, wasn't sure if things was what I was doing was right, the path.
My mother's job is to protect.
That's it.
You know, that's...
See, my mum always encouraged me. My mum
was
always
very
like,
encouraging.
But I know what Nicole means.
My mum has always been very encouraging.
Cautious.
Mothers are cautious. Grandmothers are a bit more flamboyant.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I got caught having a cigarette once.
Yeah.
And my mum was screaming, you know, and she said, "Come on, Liz. It's fine. Come have a cigarette with me. Go outside." You know?
Yeah, there's something about grandmothers.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because my mum is that now to my girls.
Yeah.
Like, Noelle will come down the stairs.
Or let her get away with it.
Neve will come down the stairs wearing something. I'll be like, oh my God, that is just definitely not on. My mum's like, let her. She's 18. She's 19. She's got the legs. She's got the legs. Let her wear it. You know, you're only that age once. So it's funny how, you know, you can see that, and you know, my girls are so lucky to have both Adam's mum and my mum alive, and to have both of them is an incredible influence.
So nice.
I feel like I'm the same age as your daughters.
Yes.
And I was just like,
out.
how come my grandparents, and I was like, oh, because I'm 42.
Yeah.
Here's to strong women.
Strong women.
Kind women.
Kind women.
Kind women. I think if we can teach our daughters one thing, and our sons, in the world is, you know, kindness with a cup of tea or a glass of champagne.
But don't they say to strong women, may we know them, may we be them, may we raise them?
Yes.
Love it. Raise my glass to that. And anything else you want to tonight, girls? Afternoon tea, I mean.